Hello, I'm Logan.
I'm Gemma.
Today we're going to be reading the 14th story from Secrets of the Forest. What the Kauri tree has seen. A long, long time ago in New Zealand, more than 1,000 years ago, a brown-winged seed travelled on the wind. It flittered and fluttered past trees, orchards, and further of brilliant green on its way to the bottom of a Kauri forest. Without a sound, the seed landed. Other seeds, twigs, leaves, and deep brown pine cones had cushioned its fall. The seed took root in the weathered soil and started to grow. Its long bronze leaves stood out against the kauri grass nearby. Sometimes kakapo birds fed on leaves in the trees above. Other times they rolled up balls of moss on the forest floor. Year in and year out, the kauri seedling grew, but the process was slow, just like the movement of kauri snails crawling across the ground. When it was young, the kauri tree looked like most other conifer trees. Bright green leaves spiraled out from its short branches. Its crown was narrow and shaped like a triangle, but as the seasons changed, so did the kauri tree. Its trunk grew a little wider, year after year. Every spring, shining cuckoos laid their eggs in a nest of great warblers, leaving the warblers to care for their chicks. But months later, the young cuckoos leave the kauri forest for warmer islands. After a few decades, the kauri tree started to shed its lower branches. Its uppermost branches spread out into a beautiful crown. Now, seedlings sprouted far below, just like our kauri did years ago. Hundreds of years passed. With its thick trunk and its dense canopy, the kauri tree had become a king of the forest. One year a group of Maori, the indigenous people of New Zealand, cut down a kauri tree growing nearby and turned it into a beautifully carved canoe. Throughout the centuries, more often than not, I'm just a bit sick, everyone. Anyway, back to the story. Maori left the kauri tree to stand tall. They also collected kauri tree gum. Sometimes they soaked the gum in water, mixed it with plant milk, and chewed it like bubble gum. Other times they combined it with animal fat. They used this to decorate themselves with richly patterned tattoos. Things changed in the late 1700s when European ships arrived. Saws and the loud thuds of kauris hitting the ground replaced the sound of one peaceful forest. Brum, brum, brrr, thud, thud. Scared, sacred kingfishers and fantails fled as tree after tree was felled and taken away. Our kauri tree was different enough in the forest to be spared. Any other trees in the area that had been growing for centuries were not so fortunate. Hundreds of years later, people started replanting kauris and protecting them from harm. During the day, people came to the kauri forest with binoculars and cameras instead of axes and saws. Children visited our kauri tree with their parents and grandparents. They marvelled at its majesty. At night, the loud whistles of brown kiwi birds filled the forest, just as they had when the kauri tree was a seedling more than 1,000 years earlier. Let's learn some fun facts about kauri trees. Ancient giants. Kauri trees have been around since the days when dinosaurs roamed on Earth. Since the dinosaurs roamed on Earth, that was as much as 65 million years ago. Today, there are about 20 different species in locations from Australia to Fiji to Malaysia. The ones in this story are New Zealand kauri trees, growing on the North Island of New Zealand. Life cycle. Kauri trees are conifers or cone-bearing trees. Both male and female cones grow on a kauri tree. The male cones are shaped like a finger and turn dark brown as they ripen. The male cone releases pollen, which fertilizes the round female cone, causing seeds to form. The wind disperses these winged seeds, leading to the growth of new kauri trees. On average, a kauri tree grows about 36 meters. That's 1.2 feet in height a year. Floating wood. Because kauri wood floats, the Maori carved some kauri trees into canoes known as waka. A famous waka named, I can't pronounce it, but maybe the people in New Zealand can pronounce it. Hey, my friends in New Zealand, what's a famous waka in New Zealand?
You can let us know in the comments, guys.
Yeah, because I don't know how to say it. Anyway, and that famous waka is the world's biggest one, still in use. You know people from New Zealand. You help us pronounce it. But anyway, you can't pronounce it. Maybe the people in New Zealand can pronounce it. I don't think we can pronounce it from England. But anyway, let's read the story. It was made from 3 huge kauri trees, and is 35 meters. That's 115 feet long. The Lord of the Forest. New Zealand is a home to a number of amazing large kauri trees. The biggest in the country is Tain Mahuta, often known as the Lord of the Forest. Scientists estimate that this tree is about 2,000 years old. Tain Mahuta is as tall as a 12-story building. It grows in the Power Forest. But the people from New Zealand know how to say that too, don't you? So help us say it, because we don't know much about New Zealand. All the people from New Zealand can help us know. So anyway, which is protected by the New Zealand government. Deforestation. When the first European ships came to New Zealand in the late 1700s, kauri trees were abundant. They grew from the Kaimai Range to the far northern stretches of the North Island, covering about 1.2 million hectares. But sadly, most of the kauri forest has been chopped down by 1900. The end. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.